didn't see you there. Today we will be talking about the most important table. Not that kind of table. It was a table that was created thousands of years ago and is still being modified today. It's called the periodic table.
Bill Nye the Science Guy.
The periodic table is made up of metals, metalloids, and non-metals.
Chemistry rules. The charge of oxygen is negative.
The periodic table.
Bill Nye the Science Guy.
Brought to you by
Science history, making people think since 1869.
1869 was the year that Dmitri Mendeleev published the first periodic table. There were only 60 elements, but some of the information was wrong. He wrote the properties of the elements that were known at the time and arranged them by their relative atomic mass. 1894, William Ramsay discovered the noble gases by using the discharge tube, and he realized that it represented a new group in the periodic table.
In 1914, Henry Moseley discovered all of the known elements' atomic number. He realized that if you put the elements based on their increasing atomic number instead of their atomic weight, then they would have a better fit in the periodic table. In 1940, Glenn Seaborg artificially created the heavy mass elements. He created a new block on the periodic table called the actinides. Hey, you think all the periodic table jokes are gone? I don't think so.
Hey, Nirvana, that wasn't funny.
Okay, fine. How about this one? What's cesium and iodine's favorite show to watch? CSI!
You have a lot of time on your hands, don't you?
Did you know that?
Cesium is classified as a metallic. That's because as the charge in the outermost shell decreases, the electrons can be lost easily. It is also a natural element that is very reactive and is often liquid at room temperature.
Now you know.
You see, metallic refers to the level of reactivity in metals. Some physical properties of metals are high density, luster and shining appearance, high electrical conductivity, and high thermal conductivity.
That's right, Nirvana. Almost all common positive ions are metallic.
Yup.
Metallic character increases as you move left on the periodic table. That's why elements with high metallic character are present towards the left of the periodic table.
Uh-huh.
Consider the following.
The elements on the periodic table have many similarities and trends.
Melting point is the temperature at which a given solid will melt. The melting points of elements vary from extremely high to extremely low, based on the element. Metals usually have high melting points, and non-metals usually have low melting points. The stronger the bond between the atoms of the elements require more energy to break the bond.
Ion energy is the energy required to remove an electron from a gaseous atom, or ion, or the amount of energy required to remove an electron from an atom to form a cation. Ionization energy of elements within a period generally increase from left to right due to valence shell stability. It generally decreases from top to bottom due to electron shielding.
For example, noble gases possess high ionization energies because of their full valence shells. The atomic radius of a chemical element is a measure of the size of its atoms. Atomic size decreases from left to right across a period of elements. Within a period or family of elements, all elements are added to the same shell, and at the same time, protons are being added to the nucleus, thus making it more positively charged. This is caused by the increase in the number of protons and electrons across a period. One proton has a greater effect than one electron. Thus, electrons are pulled towards the nucleus, resulting in a smaller radius.
Chemical reactivity tells you how likely or vigorously atoms will react with each other. When you move down a group of metals, reactivity increases, because the farther down a group of metals you go, the easier it is for electrons to be given or taken away, resulting in higher reactivity.
When you move across a period of metals, reactivity decreases because although they still want to give away valence electrons, they have more of them to get rid of, which requires more energy.
When you move up a group of nonmetals, reactivity increases because the higher up and to the right atoms are, it results in a more vigorous exchange of electrons.
When you move across a period of nonmetals, reactivity increases.
All elements have an ionic charge. Each atom of an element has particles that are made up of neutrons, which are neutral,
Protons, which are positive.
and electrons that are negative.
If a particle loses electrons, it will lose some negative charge and become slightly positively charged, which is a cation.
If it loses some protons, it will lose some positive charge and become slightly negatively charged, which is an anion.
On the periodic table, the charges on metals can be determined from their position on the table, and they will be positive. Most of the transition metals have two or more commonly occurring charge. The charges on non-metallic elements can generally be determined from their position in the periodic table as well, and they will be negative.
Conductivity is a property or power of conducting heat or electricity. On the table, metals are on the left, and electrical conductivity decreases as you go from left to right. Metals conduct electricity the best, as electrons can easily pass from one end of the metal to the other.
Non-metals are the complete opposite. They do not have electrons that can easily pass through.
And it's intermission time.
The periodic table is so cool. We learn it in class at school. The table is organized in groups and columns. Groups are vertical and columns horizontal. The range based on the similar properties. Each group has the same number of valence electrons. There are four main groups in the table: alkali metals, alkaline earth metals, noble gases, and halogens. Alkali metals are mad reactive. Put them in water and you've got an explosive. They're good conductors of heat and electricity, and they got a low density. Alkaline earth metals. The melting and boiling points are low, but not its reactivity. It ain't, though. They're malleable and ductile too. Halogens are reactive and non-metallic, but it don't mean they ain't sick. Noble gases are the most stable. They're gases, and they're odorless and colorless. All the elements have different masses, even if they are gases. Explain the periodic table I just did. Stay in school, kids. Oh. I wish there was a scientist here who could help me. That would make life so much easier. It's 11:11. I'll wish for it. Hi!
Hi.
I wished and it came true!
I'm a scientist. I've been studying the periodic table for 20 years.
Well, my name is Sally, and I'm doing a project on the periodic table.
Oh, well, tell me what you know.
I will, okay. So, what I've learned so far is that the elements are organized into groups according to their atomic structure and properties.
Yep, that's right.
Okay, and metals are found on the left-hand side of the periodic table, and they're solid, shiny, good conductors of heat, electricity, and they're ductile. What does that mean?
It means that they can be easily drawn into wires.
Interesting. And they're malleable, which means they can be very easily hammered into thin sheets.
Yeah.
Interesting. Okay. So, another thing, non-metals. They're located on the upper right side.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And they're poor conductors of heat and electricity.
Yeah.
Okay. They're usually brittle with little or no metallic luster. Interesting. And most non-metals have the ability to gain electrons easily.
Yeah. What else do you know?
Well, I don't know what metalloids are. That's why I'm here at the library. But this book isn't telling me much.
Well, I can help with that. Metalloids are elements that contain the properties of both metals and nonmetals. They are located from column 13 to 16, and they can be either shiny or dull.
Whoa, whoa, whoa. That's a lot to take in. Let me write this down.
The conductivity of heat and electricity is better than nonmetals, but not as good as metals.
At room temperature, they are solid, they are ductile and malleable. To the right of the staircase, elements gain electrons when bonding. To the left of the staircase, elements lose electrons when bonding.
Thank you so much for helping me. Now I can go home and finish my project that Miss Ryan assigned to me. We hope you liked our episode about the periodic table.
Thanks for watching.
And catch us next time.
Produced in association with the National Science Foundation.
Bill Nye the Science Guy.
The periodic table was created thousands of years ago.
No, wait, I got another one. What are cesium and iodine's favorite show to watch?
What?
CSI! You see, ow.